surrounding Selena Gomez began circulating, with the situation being described as minor yet still worth attention, as there was an effort to highlight even the smallest developments while encouraging strong engagement from viewers who were expected to support the content through likes and comments, with the hope that the video could reach an ambitious level of interaction despite uncertainty about whether the view count itself would match that expectation, creating a tone of determination mixed with humor as the unfolding discussion prepared to shift into a resurfaced clip that had been repeatedly shared over time. A clip involving Jasmine, who had past connections to Justin Bieber, and whose statements about both him and Selena had once again drawn attention online despite the fact that the original recording was clearly from years prior, even though its most recent upload was labeled as 2026, reinforcing the idea that certain stories within celebrity culture never truly fade but instead reappear periodically to spark renewed interest, while at the same time viewers were encouraged to actively participate by leaving comments, with playful suggestions of what to write, setting a casual and interactive tone before transitioning into brief highlights of current updates, including a trending claim that Selena Gomez and Becky G had been seen filming a music video together in the San Fernando Valley, a moment that initially appeared somewhat awkward in still images but was later understood as normal once context from behind-the-scenes footage was considered, since music video production often looks unusual without the final editing and presentation, leading into another topic that had recently gained traction online regarding reports that Selena might be selling her Los Angeles home not long after purchasing it with Benny Blanco, a claim that had quickly spiraled into speculation, including viral posts suggesting that she was being influenced or manipulated into giving up her assets, a narrative that gained millions of views and significant engagement despite lacking substantial evidence, prompting a more grounded perspective that emphasized Selena's financial status, pointing out that as a billionaire, a $6 million property would not represent a major loss but rather a relatively minor transaction in comparison to her overall wealth, with the situation being framed in a humorous way to illustrate how such an amount might feel insignificant at her level, while also noting that there had been reports of her and Benny potentially acquiring a much more expensive property together, estimated around $35 million, which would make the sale of a previous home appear more like a practical decision rather than something driven by external pressure or control, reinforcing the idea that not every celebrity action needs to be interpreted as part of a dramatic narrative, as speculation often exaggerates simple circumstances into elaborate theories, after which attention shifted toward another development involving Benny Blanco hosting a book-related event that Selena was rumored to attend, scheduled for September 18th and reportedly sold out, an outcome that generated both excitement and criticism, as some individuals expressed frustration, arguing that Selena's presence was being used to boost interest in Benny's project rather than focusing on her own career or offering fans something directly tied to her music, with comments suggesting that fans would prefer opportunities to engage with her in a more personal or artistic capacity instead of supporting events connected to someone else, while others took a more pragmatic approach, acknowledging that leveraging relationships for visibility is not uncommon in the entertainment industry and can even be seen as a strategic move rather than something inherently negative, leading to a humorous reflection on how anyone in a similar position might act if they were involved with a high-profile celebrity, imagining scenarios where such a relationship would naturally become part of content creation, highlighting the blurred lines between personal life and public exposure in modern media culture, before returning to the central topic of the resurfaced video featuring Jasmine, whose past connection with Justin Bieber had been a subject of curiosity for years, with the clip revealing her account of their brief relationship during a time when they were both young and navigating early stages of fame, explaining that they had dated for several months during a tour, but had kept it private due to the intense attention surrounding Justin at the time, particularly from fans who were deeply invested in his image and relationships, making it difficult to publicly acknowledge anything that might disrupt that perception, which led to the decision to keep their relationship hidden even from the broader public while close friends were aware, creating a situation where the dynamic existed quietly behind the scenes without the typical recognition associated with celebrity couples. And as she described the experience, she acknowledged that their youth played a role in how the relationship was handled and how it eventually ended, noting that the pressures of touring and maintaining a certain image contributed to their breakup, which occurred while they were still on tour, adding another layer of complexity to the situation as professional and personal boundaries became intertwined, after which she reflected on how Justin soon entered a relationship with Selena Gomez, a transition that stood in contrast to her own experience, as that new relationship was much more public and widely acknowledged, leading her to question whether differences in status or visibility may have influenced how each relationship was treated, expressing feelings of uncertainty and mild disappointment at the time as she considered the possibility that her own position in the industry might have affected the level of openness allowed, particularly since she saw herself as less established compared to both Justin and Selena, which may have contributed to the decision to keep things private, while also describing moments of awkwardness when Selena appeared during the tour after the breakup, creating situations where personal history intersected with ongoing professional commitments, though she emphasized that everyone involved handled it with maturity and there was no lingering hostility, portraying the experience as something that was difficult in the moment but ultimately manageable, as she moved forward without holding on to negative feelings, presenting a perspective that balanced honesty with respect, and highlighting how time and growth can change the way past events are viewed, especially when they occurred during formative years, while the narrative acknowledged that hearing about such moments could be surprising for those who were not previously aware of them, contributing to the reason why the clip continued to circulate and generate interest whenever it resurfaced, as it offered insight into a lesser-known chapter of a widely followed story, before transitioning toward a broader reflection on how the relationships between Justin, Selena, and others evolved over time, noting that their history included periods of being together and apart before eventually moving on to different paths, with Selena now reportedly happy with Benny Blanco and Justin married to Hailey Bieber, illustrating how situations that once seemed central to public attention have since resolved into separate, stable lives, reinforcing the idea that it is unnecessary to revisit old conflicts or create divisions between fan communities, as the individuals involved have already progressed beyond those earlier dynamics, encouraging a more balanced outlook that focuses on present happiness rather than past drama, while maintaining a light tone that blends humor with storytelling. And before reaching the conclusion, a brief reminder was included to subscribe for more updates, keeping it concise and integrated naturally into the flow without disrupting the narrative, as the discussion wrapped up by summarizing the key elements that had been covered, from current rumors and updates to the resurfaced interview and its implications, ultimately presenting a cohesive account that connected past and present events without overanalyzing them, and ending on a note that acknowledged the ongoing nature of celebrity conversations while emphasizing that perspectives can shift over time, leaving room for audiences to interpret the information in their own way while remaining engaged with future developments.